Hello, 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 welcome back. I am Ben the Bold and you are watching our very tall Sicily campaign. Let us go ahead and continue on. I'm actually going to raise the speed up a little bit just to keep things from getting too slow. I think in this episode I'm going to try to... I've seen a couple comments about, distributing my slaves a little bit better, so I think in this episode I'm going to work to do that. So let's, without any further ado, get started. First of all, I think it's probably at this point kind of unexcusable if I have any province or territories here that does not have any buildings built. For instance, you in Irix, as well as you in Galas. Real quick, let's get a new omen. I think in this case, the national tax rate is going to be good. Yeah, let's just get national tax rate up. Perfect. And let's talk about what to build in Galas. We have plenty of money to do so. And I am thinking we go with, with wood. So let's go ahead and do a slave estate. That's just going to help us out a little bit more. We don't need their friendship, or we can become friends with the Basilis of Epirus. I think he could be a nice friend. That sounds good to me. Also, let's come up here to Irix. You're producing stone. That means we should build a mine. Okay, we're going to, yeah, that'll help us produce more stone. Anywhere else that does, any other territory, settlement territory that doesn't have a building, yeah, and you produce glass. Alright, well, I think for glass, it would be best to just go with the slave estate. That's going to, well, I mean, it helps us with a lot of things. It helps us with population capacity. It also helps us with tax income, base tax. Alright, yeah, so we'll build a slave estate. Perfect. Let's also come here. I know you don't have anything. You also don't have very many people, but you know what? Why not? And then last but not least, of course, there's Melite. It has a fish as its trade good. That means we can actually build a farming settlement there. So I'll do that. I might actually move some slaves here. Or I might hold off on that. Instead, I should think about maybe moving some slaves to these other territories. Oh, you produce wine. So I'll go ahead and build another slave estate there. Good. Anywhere else? Anywhere else? You produce glass. Yep, let's do another slave estate. Spending a lot of money on these slave estates, but again, I have plenty of cash, plenty of cash. Not worried in the slightest about it. I also think I want to get more trade goods for surplus. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just move some slaves out of Sicily. There's no real reason to have this many slaves in Sicily. The only reason I would want to keep them is to just assimilate them into our pop as well as into our religion. Alright, looks like we get some more manpower back. That's good. Ooh, while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and drill the army so that we keep getting that military experience. At one point, it was ticking up at about 0.8 per month, which is extremely good. Right now, it's only ticking up at 0.44. That's because it took some losses. Also, there's just a standard decay on our experience in our cohorts, but now that we're drilling, that should go up relatively quickly. Since we are talking about going out and getting, or since we are talking about moving slaves around, we should also think about maybe going out and getting some slaves. So I'm going to send my fleet out. It's going to increase their aggressive expansion a little bit, but in the end, I'm going to push more and more slaves toward Syracuse and Sicily. I'm going to build another academy there. Let's go ahead and move some pops. I really think I only want to move, well, let's check the population capacity real quick. Yeah, they can take up to 33 people. That's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and move... I want to move slaves from Syracuse who are of my religion or culture, so... Epirite is my religion as well, and culture, so I don't mind moving them. Let's check out what that means. It means I have 22 slaves here. That's going to mean once... Well, I guess I need a few more to actually get the surplus because I can't build a farming settlement. This is a slave estate. So I will have to move some more. But real quick, let's actually just go ahead and get some more slaves. Let's hit the slave raid button. That's going to give us 6 aggressive expansion, but take a look at how many slaves we're going to get. It's going to be, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 slaves. All right, so that's not great, but it's not bad either. I hit the button, and of course, I also got a new religious advancement. Very nice, very nice. That's going to increase our omen power a little bit. We also get an invention that can help us out, as well as that primary culture and state religion happiness. Both of those are beneficial as well. We need a new strategist. This is the one that helps us with our mercenary maintenance, so we want to make sure we have someone nice and with a heavy martial score, since we do rely on mercenaries quite a bit. Let's go ahead and go to Carthage. Let's see if we can actually take some slaves directly from the Carthaginian major city itself. I'll go ahead and gain the 10 loyalty plus the stability. That seems like a good course of action. Our academy has been built in Syracuse. We're actually going to keep on moving some pops. Let's see. I think those Epirite pops. I hate how when, and this happens all the time, I will start to, yeah, so like then they move down here. And now they moved again. So I'm specifically looking here at the Epirite pops, and so it ranks them, I guess, in order, maybe not in order, or at least in order in the city or something. But then, all right, so you're Hellenic, you're Macedonian. I'm just trying to get pops of my religion as well as my culture. For instance, you. And so how many pops do we have now? 32. All right, so now we are all of a sudden creating more and more wine. Lots of surpluses of wine. That's perfect and amazing. Now we should be able to trade that away. We are ready to once again hit the slave raid button. This isn't going to take near as many, but we'll go ahead and take 2 more slaves back to Syracuse. That also doesn't do as much of a damage with our aggressive expansion, so I am happy to go ahead and keep raiding their coastal ports for some slaves. It's a nice way to increase the population of Sicily, I guess. And we're going to take 3 aggressive expansion to take another slave or 2. I'm happy to do that at least one more time. And, you know, I know that it's not a lot. We're just taking a couple slaves at a time, but anything to hurt the Carthaginians is good for us. Here we're going to take another 4 slaves. That's perfect. Plus they're going to get their commerce value down. Not displeased in the slightest with how that worked. So we have 17 aggressive expansion. It's going to tick down at 0.15 per month. That's all right. That's fine. Let's go ahead and get... Let's go ahead and get another trade route in our capital province. I was informed in the comments, or really just reminded in the comments. I had read this at some point, but the trade routes also increases your population capacity. Yeah, see, number of trade routes plus 38%. So hopefully, maybe with a bunch of trade routes, we can get away with not building so many aqueducts. I would love to not build any more aqueducts, period. A lot of our buildings are about to be finished. Excellent. Speaking of buildings, let's go ahead and build another library there. Now, in the last episode, I did promise that we might see some conflict with Crete in this episode. Indeed, I have not given up on that. My one thing is, if I try to fabricate a claim, it says we already have claims on Crete. They have no other provinces we could easily conquer in a war. Only coastal provinces in our control range or those adjacent to our territory can be claimed. So I have fabricated a claim on them before, but then if I go to take Crete, oh, it's not giving me the... it was giving me... Oh man, a lot of my feudataries wouldn't want to join. Anyway, when I was trying it before, it was actually giving me not an error message, but that warning saying like, hey, if you do this, it's going to make a lot of people mad. Your stability is going to drop. But it doesn't seem to be doing that right now. So we are going to, we're going to look to go to Crete relatively soon. I'm going to go ahead and let my manpower tick up a little bit. We tick up at 700 men per month. I'm not super worried about it. Now that Crete has kind of fallen apart, my plan is a little bit different. But it actually looks like these two nations are allied with each other. Do they have a defensive league? Oh, no, pillage. What? A group of soldiers belonging to the army, we only have one army, while stationed on a peaceful deployment, absconded in order to pillage the nearby city of Syracuse. They pillaged the great and wonderful, amazing center of the Mediterranean, Syracuse. What is more concerning is that he is refusing to punish the legions, citing their extreme loyalty as a reason. We are left in the disagreeable position of having to choose between forcing our general to crucify his own soldiers or appearing weak and soft. We can't help but feel that he knows exactly what he is doing. Well, let's see what his loyalty is. He's loyal-ish. He's actually losing a lot of loyalty every month. All right. It must be decimation. He will lose 20 loyalty. We could then fire him, which would probably be what we're going to do. Or he'll gain 5 loyalty, but we will lose 5 popularity. Either way, Syracuse is going to get local unrest plus 2 population growth minus 0.02 for the next 2 years. Actually, I hate to say it. No. I hate to say it. I think I'm going to go ahead, suffer the popularity hit. And then he is also going to get replaced if I can. Yeah, I can. Unfortunately, there's no one there, so there's no one there who's extremely good. I could get you, like if I hired someone else here, but then you'll dislike me. Why do they hate me? Let's see. Oh, scorned families. I've got a lot of scorned families. I could put you in charge. And now you're in charge of an army. I did that without even looking. Alright, so their loyalty is ticking up kind of slowly. I will also... I could demand support for the air. Is that really a problem? Oh man, my primary heir is not amazing. Do you have a wife? No, you don't. Can I get you a wife? Grant citizenship status. He's a foreigner? He's the head of another family. Do you not have any children of your own? You have 2 daughters. Oh no. How old are you? You're 41? Or 44? Well, I don't want that. I am going to go ahead and grant him citizenship status. But, just in case, it would be helpful if the king of our country was indeed a citizen of our country. And he is, right now, supposed to be the next king. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Ooh, I could build road costs down 25%. Can I build roads? Build a road. Ooh! I'm going to build some roads. Although, I'm going to build some roads with some light cav. Because they build roads a little faster. And, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a quick group of light cavalry. They're not going to necessarily hurt my military experience gain too much, because I will have them drilling predominantly as well. Let's go ahead, have you drill again. Looks like we need a new researcher. Yeah, you're loyal. Hopefully that will take you away from Scorned Family. Let's go ahead and get that build roads cost down 25%, since I'm going to build some roads. And aggressive expansion change down 0.2%. That's good. It lets me go slave raiding more often. I might as well get the Omen power as well. And state religious happiness is always good, but I'm going to pass on it for the time being. I have another trade route available. We could get some more wine. Up to 50% of the troops assigned to him will become loyal. What? Okay, well, it seems that he has really taken to the job as a general. And he has started reworking the whole infrastructure of the troops assigned to him. However, with these changes, we have started seeing a lot of officers and troops who are loyal to the general over Sicily. Now that's just not acceptable. We need him to be loyal to me. I am the king. I am the king. I am the king. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and say... Is your loyalty going up? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and say, go ahead. You know what you're doing. It's just fine. But I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I think I might go ahead and move some pops to this city as well. Let's do it from... I'd like to do it from Syracuse, yeah. So let's just move a bunch of Roman pops, maybe. I'm just going to move 4 for now. That'll mean I'm producing an extra wood. Perfect. Let's go ahead and merge you two together and build 8 more light cav. That's going to do a number on my manpower, but that's alright. We don't usually dip into our manpower that much. And you're just going to be able to build roads all across Sicily. Plus, I will have a light marauding band. They could be useful. I know I get into a lot of wars for slaves and that are primarily for slaves. And it could be useful to have just a quick roaming band that can go around, take a bunch of slaves, move on to the next province, and then dip away into our boats and sail away without the enemy being any the wiser. I'm going to go ahead and choose you since you would get siege ability up 10%, just in case they end up going on a siege. And let's go ahead and just start building some roads. I think the first road I'm going to do is going to go from Syracuse to Messana, just so we can move our armies just a little bit faster between those 2 points. I think a nice perimeter road all the way around Syracuse would be great. I'll go ahead and send a researcher to Macedon. Of course, that means I need a new researcher. And I don't mind putting you as a researcher. Yeah, look at how much your loyalty is gaining. Let's go ahead and find those light cav. Let's tell them to build some roads, and then it can go to Messana. Alright, so that's going to take them a little while, but we're going to start seeing that road appear. Awesome. I love building roads in this game. It is so much fun. It is expensive, though. We're paying for it. Speaking of expensive, let's go ahead and get just a couple more boats. I'm thinking that should be good. Yeah, look how fast we're building these roads. How marvelous. Alright, so I'm also going to have them build a road all the way. Let's make sure they follow the path I want them to do, so... Let's just have them go all the way around the country. Shouldn't take them that long. And we'll have this nice perimeter road set up. Olympics concluded, we gain some popularity. Nothing big happens. My military experience is ticking up by 0.55 every day. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and purchase these mercenaries. It's going to cost me 8.5 military experience, but I'm not necessarily super upset by that, so we're going to do that. We're down at 68. We're going to gain that up pretty quick. I'm going to use those mercenaries, though, instead of my own loyal troops. My own loyal troops are just going to keep on gaining experience, although now, of course, my military experience is diluted somewhat because I've hired the mercenaries, but once I fire them, we will be fine. But I have been promising an invasion of Crete for a while, and I intend to deliver in this episode. We are coming along nicely with our road system. Of course, eventually I think all of these are going to be connected by roads, but right now I'm just doing a nice perimeter around the coast. I'll then probably do one right through the center of the country. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably just going to connect everything via roads. Looks like the Dacian local power of Mosia has folded. That means there's been war averted. No one's going to war with Phrygia today. Let's now take you to Akros. Their morale is still not in the greatest straits, so we will hold off on loading them into boats quite yet. I'm gonna have you build some more roads, this time right through the center of the country. Get a new omen power, gonna go with national tax rate. Just think it pays to make some money. I'm still making 8 ducats per month even after hiring all these mercenaries. That's pretty good to me. Let's go here. Give a nice road through the mountains. I guess I should turn them off the building roads between provinces that already have roads built. Alright, let's go ahead and load them into ships and move our ships towards Crete. Now, originally when I was making my kind of invasion plan of Crete, the entire western side of the island was owned by one country. Now, it should actually be a lot more straightforward. I will take down these 2 forts. Once those 2 forts fall in this first war, and I have gained a foothold, I really don't think that there's much that anyone can do to stop me from taking the rest of Crete. I'll go ahead and trade away those base metals, no problem. Any imports that I can bring in, I can do stone. Of course, it's from myself. But I don't, well, I could, of course, bring in more grain. Well, we'll see. We'll just leave that open for now. I'm going to go ahead and declare war to take Crete. A bunch of my feudatories will join. Some of my bigger ones won't. That's alright. And again, when I say that I'm going to take Crete, I don't mean that I myself am actually going to take it. Instead, I'm looking to make lots and lots of feudatories or tributaries, and Crete is actually a really great place to do that. In fact, I might think about doing tributaries on Crete instead of feudatories. We'll have to see. But Crete is a good place to do it because I have lots of small countries that, well, once I defeat them, would jump to being my feudataries. I would be easily able to really put the entire island under the iron fist of the Sicilian League. Actually, let me rephrase that. They would have the privilege of joining one of the most powerful trade conglomerates in the central Mediterranean. No one's crushing anyone under an iron fist. That is, unless, of course, you were to rebel against me. Now look, they have 53,000 men ready to come fight me. That's actually kind of alarming. How'd they get 53,000 men? Some of them may not be actually at war with me. Yep, they are. Well, they're going to come fight. We out-morale them. This might actually be a huge loss. How in the world did they get all those men? It's okay. I don't even care if they get stack wiped. I don't want to move my fleet away quite yet. Yeah, they're going to lose this. Alright. Where'd they get all those men from? It's alright. We lost 25,000 of our 33,000. Man, the attrition is terrible. We had a river crossing. Wait, why do we have a river crossing? Is this the old... Alright, so this happened when they instituted that in EU4, when the person sieging the fort all of a sudden became registered as a defender. They had it noticed... They had a bug where if you had like crossed a river or done a naval invasion, then you kept the attacker status, but you also kept the river crossing status if you crossed a river to do it. That was a bug. They ended up taking that out of EU4, unless I'm mistaken, right? Anyway, we are going to have to come back home with our tail tucked between our legs. That's alright. We have other armies to throw at them. We thought this would be an easy fight. Instead, we found out otherwise. Let's see where they ended up getting these armies from. These have to be... Okay, so these are mercenaries. They're already serving Agros. Alright, so they did end up having some mercenaries on the island of Crete itself. That actually doesn't worry me too much, although it actually does. Take a look at the number of ducats in their treasury. Alright, let's go ahead and move our mercenaries back and get ready to attack with a more main-bodied force. I'll go ahead and gain some popularity and prominence. We definitely have time on our side in this war, mostly because we control the seas. Also, they're not going to come and invade me. If they did, that would be stupid on their part. Ooh, an incendiary slave speaks in Henna. I could round up the troublemakers. I'd gain some tyranny. Ooh, I could just have him join me. Lose 10 political influence. I'll lose 10 political influence. That's fine. I think I'm going to go ahead and hire some more mercs. And let's get them into Sicily. Into Syracuse in particular. Of course, once again, that hurts our military experience, but that's alright. We gain it back pretty quick. Let's have you stop building roads and start training instead. We'll trade away some stone. That actually is great. That's half a ducat per month. Alright, so back to my original plan when I was invading Crete. Maybe I should have thought about this a little bit more. Didn't realize that they had the funds to hire those mercenaries. Yep. Unfortunately for them, though, they will have to keep those mercenaries hired, so they're going to start losing a lot of money very quickly. We just have to prove that we can contest for that war goal. So we're going to sit here. We're going to let these mercenaries heal up a little bit. We have plenty of time. Time is on our side. It is their army that is going to buckle under the weight of having to pay for those mercs. Again, not worried in the slightest. Can you tell how I'm not worried? Because I'm starting to be a little worried, actually. Anyway, their treasury is going to start ticking down. We'll go ahead and trade away some wood. That's fine. We get a civic advancement. Population capacity is up again. Monthly wages for characters. Ooh, that one's a good one. Also, I'll take that citizen output. I'll take all those inventions, actually. Where are you? Monthly wages for characters. Let's see how much we're paying characters now. We are currently paying them 21 ducats, so down 10%. That helps. Every little bit helps, you know. Let's go ahead, go back to our technology screen. Wages for characters down, citizen output up, and I'll go ahead and do Freeman output up as well. And I'm going to go ahead and install provincial procurators, help me out just a little bit. I might just move all 84,000 of my troops across the ocean, or I'm just going to do my mercenaries again. That might be disastrous, but of course we have there's kind of a never-ending pool of mercenaries that we can just keep sending at them, whereas they probably can't hire that many more. I don't know how many mercenaries are on Sicily, but they're losing a full 13 ducats per month. Now, we're not going to be able to starve them out by any means. They have just too much of a war chest to do that to. But we can send our mercenaries, land them, assuming their army isn't there. We can actually use our megapolirooms to destroy their fort, take this territory, and then see if they are feeling a little bit different about the war. Also, that would mean that we are no longer going to take the defender penalty. They are going to get a ticking war score. I'm not worried about that. We're going to gain some gold. I do like that. Alright, you now have 22,000. You are at full morale. Alright, so let's go ahead and embark you. And embark you. We're going to try once again to do this without our soldiers. And we will just move them back to Crete. I have a feeling that that one mercenary band that was so thoroughly kicked out of Crete the first time. Ooh, gain 20 legitimacy. Yes, please. And 10 loyalty. Yeah, I'll take that all day, every day. I did lose a little bit of political influence, but that's okay. That ticks up at 1.5 PI every month. Here comes my navy. Now, this is not exactly a huge settlement. It does have a very high civilization value, so the supply limit should be relatively high here. So they've landed... They have 17,000 men. Let's go ahead and just land both of our armies. We're going to take a major crossing penalty. Or can I not? Just kind of... Alright, so both of our armies are going to come in. They are going to retreat away. They want to fight us. If they move in that second army, they would probably beat us. Unless we can defeat these 15... Yeah, so they're going to beat us again, I think. At least this time we're at a tactics wash. We have more heavy infantry. We have more archers. We have more cavalry. They just have 10,000 light infantry. Hopefully those light infantry will melt away in front of our... Oh, well, would you look at this? Would you look at this? Would you look at this? We have had a war declared on us. Fortunately, we have called most of our allies. Well, at least some of our allies. Not as many as we would have liked. Alright, hold on. Hold the presses, hold everything. I'm going to go back down to speed. Alright, because we're... Alright, Alright, so I think Carthage actually declared war on someone else. We're going to go back down to speed 3. I think Carthage declared war on one of my tributary states. Like, what is this war for? Yeah, so the first Carthaginian Emporium War. I cannot pronounce any of the names in this game. Super sorry about it, but it is what it is. So they are trying to take this territory. It makes sense. They're probably trying to link their two territories together. It makes sense. I'd probably want to do the same if I were in their shoes. They now have the naval superiority. I'm suddenly a lot less interested in Crete. I'm on the defensive, that's for sure. Let's see how many people actually join with us, shall we? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 of our feudatories join. Let's check out what that means. I think they're actually going to outnumber us. They don't have near as many heavy infantry as we do. We have a ton, and I mean a ton of light infantry, although so do they. Light cavalry is about the same. Heavy cavalry, we actually have the advantage. Alright, so we actually might outnumber them. The big thing is the ships. How many ships do they have? 103 Liburnians, 84 triremes, 107 tetriers, and 21 hexreers. Alright, so we have 28 megapolremes, though. Alright, okay. Alright, we'll have to see what happens. I suddenly wish we weren't bogged down in this war in Crete. That turned out to be a kind of a disaster. I wonder if they would go ahead and... If we begged for peace, they would want Sicilian Sicula to Argos. What? That's what they want? No. No, no, no. I'll just let... See, alright. I don't understand the... Well, I guess I get it. But, like, there's no reason why I would ever give them anything in this war, because if I just wait long enough, I'm going to get a white peace. Because they're not going to invade me. They're just not. So if I wait long enough, I'm going to get a white peace. So why would I ever do that? So let's cancel that. I mean, why would I ever do that? Let's cancel that. We will, unfortunately, probably have to just leave these 43,000 men where they are. I'm okay. Well, no, I will stick... Let's actually just retreat them all. So, yeah, we lost some men, but we didn't lose both of the armies. We're going to retreat those two armies back to Sicily, and we are going to have to prepare for war with Carthage. I've been waiting for a war with Carthage for a long time, though. I have a couple tricks up my sleeve. Alright, so they're not necessarily tricks up my sleeve. I'm hoping to take full advantage of my megapolremes to, well, potentially sack Carthage. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's going to be much I can do to protect the Imperiums up here. Their navy just probably is going to control the seas. I might be good enough, or I might be lucky enough, if I know where their navy is, to sneak out of Sicily, hit Carthage, destroy their fort with a megapolreme, capture Carthage, just send a bunch of slaves over to Sicily and then get out of Dodge. I might be fast enough to do that, especially if I use the second Stratos, because they get... I don't know if it makes a lot of sense, but, you know, the horsemen get on and off of the boats a little faster, right? So I can just imagine all these horses trying to wade through the water or trying to swim ashore. But yeah, a lot of this depends on how the Navy scene is going. I am going to try to get these 43,000 men back. I shouldn't just leave them to their fate on Crete by any means. I'm going to just, I guess, have to wait for the white peace on Crete. I'm a little ashamed that the Cretans were able to push us back twice now, although one of those times, admittedly, I retreated because I need to face off against a much bigger, a much grander threat in Carthage. Because this is it. This is where the Sicilian League, this is why the Sicilian League was formed in the first place, to fight against our larger neighbors. Unfortunately, some of my subjects have decided not to join, which frustrates me. I gave them everything. They are only still here and not crushed under the Roman boot because of me. I gave them life, I let them live, and they choose to disrespect me? No, no, no. We may have to see about sorting them out. But anyway, our loyal subjects, some of them, have joined the war, and we, of course, will defend our ally as long as we can, because you know what? That's part of the benefit of being in the Sicilian League. You have Sicily and its economic and military strength at your back. So, I'm going to have to call it quits here today, but in our next episode, we fight a war against the major naval power in the Mediterranean. Yes, the Carthaginians. I hope you're having a great day. I am, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you on the next one.